Hello, everyone, and welcome to Calm Psychology with Kabo. I'm Kabo, your psychological counselor. When you feel irritated or down, what do you usually do? Some people lash out at others when they're angry. Some eat too much to relieve stress. Others might throw things, maybe even break a bowl or two. We all have our ways of releasing stress. But if we keep reacting like that every time we feel upset, things could get pretty bad, right? People might start saying, "Let's stay away from that person. They're scary when they're mad." Before you know it, people begin to avoid you, and then you find yourself alone, lonely, hurt, or maybe you deal with stress by overeating. Then your stomach starts to grow, and your health suffers. If you keep breaking dishes, you'll have to keep buying new ones, and that gets expensive. Wouldn't it be wonderful if you could handle your irritation and worries in a better way? When you can manage your emotions, people begin to trust you. They think, that person is always calm and gentle. Naturally, others feel drawn to you, and you'll live more healthily. No stress eating, no wasted money on broken dishes. But here's the thing. We're taught how to study or work efficiently, yet no one really teaches us how to deal with our emotions. And yet, everyone feels anger, anxiety, and sadness sometimes. So today, from a psychological point of view, I'll introduce 3 ways to manage your emotions effectively. You can check my profile if you'd like to know more about me. Now, let's get started. Number 1, make your emotions visible. We often get swept away by emotions without realizing it. You might think, what do you mean? Of course, I know my own feelings. They're mine. But surprisingly, many people don't really understand what they're feeling. For example, I feel uneasy when I work near that person, but I don't know why. I opened social media to relax, but I ended up feeling anxious. I'm worried about the future, but I don't even know what I'm worried about. Sound familiar? We often ignore these vague feelings and keep going. When we keep ignoring our emotions and focus only on others or the outside world, those unprocessed emotions build up inside us. Then what happens? We might start doing things that go against our own happiness. Impulsive shopping, drinking too much, or starting meaningless fights. If that continues, our happiness slowly slips away. That's why it's important to make your emotions visible. Now, making the invisible visible might sound spooky. But don't worry. It simply means noticing emotions through physical sensations. Our body and mind are deeply connected. When you feel nervous, your heart races. When you're stressed, your stomach might hurt. You can't just order your body to stop, right? So, let's use that mind-body connection. Whenever you feel irritated or anxious, pay attention to your body. Where do you feel tension or discomfort? Maybe your head hurts, your shoulders feel tight, your stomach feels heavy, your chest feels tight, or your legs feel restless. Just notice it, gently, without judgment. You might wonder, why does focusing on the body help control emotions? Here's why. When emotions rise, the brain triggers a fight or flight response. This is controlled by the amygdala, the brain's emotional alarm center. It activates the sympathetic nervous system, raising your heart rate and making your breathing shallow. But when that response is too strong, the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for calm, logical thinking, shuts down. However, when you bring your attention to your body, like noticing my chest feels tight or my stomach feels heavy, you start observing yourself. You step outside the emotional storm. And research shows that simply observing your body's sensations can already help you calm down. This is similar to the effect of mindfulness. In psychology, this ability to observe yourself objectively is called metacognition. When you strengthen metacognition, you're no longer controlled by your emotions. You become calm, centered, and grounded. Number 2, give your emotions a name. Once you can observe your feelings, the next step is to identify and name them. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? If you realize, I'm feeling anxious, say it out loud. This is anxiety. For example, when your partner takes too long to reply to your message, you might start feeling uneasy. But is that anger because they didn't reply quickly enough? Or fear that they might not care about you anymore? Observe your emotions carefully. If you notice, this is anxiety, then put that emotion into words. And once you recognize it, give it a name. When I feel anxious, I get prickly, so I'll call this feeling chestnut-kun. When I feel irritated, I get restless, so I'll call that hamster-chan. It might sound funny, but it really works. This is called the labeling effect. Research shows that when you name your emotions, the amygdala calms down and you regain self-control. Once you can see your emotions clearly, you can find better ways to deal with them. Oh, Chestnut-kun showed up again. Let's just watch him quietly until he shrinks with practice. You'll discover what helps, like taking a bath whenever Chestnut-kun appears. That's how emotional awareness grows. Number 3, organize your emotions. The final method is organizing your emotions. Once you can notice and name your feelings, it's time to go deeper, to understand why you feel that way, because emotions often come in layers. For example, beneath anger, there might be sadness or fear. So let's use something called an emotion pyramid. Step 1, identify the surface emotion, the top of the pyramid. Example, anger. Step 2, look beneath it, the middle layer. Hidden feelings might include sadness, I was let down; anxiety, I don't know what will happen next; loneliness, no one understands how I feel. Step 3, go deeper, the base of the pyramid. Find the core cause. Sadness, I wanted to be cared for, but I wasn't. Anxiety, I'm afraid my relationships might break. By moving from surface to middle to core, you begin to see the real reason behind your emotions. Once you reach the core, ask yourself, what do I truly want? What am I really seeking? When you identify that, you can act wisely instead of emotionally. For example, if you realize that your anger comes from wanting to be valued, you can express that calmly, instead of shouting. That's true emotional control, not suppression, but understanding. Summary. Let's review. Make your emotions visible. Notice physical sensations. Give your emotions a name. Label them and regain calm. Organize your emotions. Use the emotion pyramid to understand the root cause. Emotions are not enemies. They're signals that guide us toward what truly matters. When you learn to handle them well, people around you begin to trust you. They'll say, "You're always calm and steady." You'll also notice stress earlier, before it becomes overwhelming, and you'll be able to protect your mental health. So please remember, by understanding your emotions, you can live a happier, more peaceful, and more meaningful life. Thank you so much for watching Calm Psychology with Kabo. If this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. May your life become even more joyful and calm. See you in the next video.